Now, just a little warning before we begin. There will be major spoilers in this video for the 7th episode of the Willow series on Disney+. So, if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want anything ruined, really good time to click away. Alright, so, episode 7 of Willow. What did you think?
I find an improvement.
Better. It was
I
better.
will definitely admit that this was much better.
Of course, that's relative, though, right? Better than
the other ones,
not
yes.
really good is still average, I guess.
I like that we're seeing Laura Dannon finally take her training 100% serious.
I like that she's just a more serious character. Not that she could be fun and whimsical, but she was just kind of like bratty. They were all kind of bratty, I think, is the problem.
This
the
is the
younger
episode where
characters,
they shaped up.
I think the 3 or 4 younger characters all just kind of had that same attitude.
They had this moment now where they've each come into their own.
Yes.
Which made them better.
Yeah, for the most part,
they're taking the quest seriously. A little less of that teenage speak this episode.
There was still quite a bit of that.
I know. That's still one of my biggest gripes is the teenage speak and the odd music choices.
Yeah.
We had a training montage, because every show needs a training montage.
But it was pretty nice. I actually liked the visuals in this episode.
I loved the
really
visuals.
Good.
And I loved the fact that they actually did the training. I just didn't like the music choice.
And implied it had been weeks, if not, they don't exactly know how long they've been crossing the sea there.
Not only that, we do know Allura had been studying the book and, studying with Willow the whole time, so seeing her actually using the spells and stuff through the, her conduit, the wand, was good. And we saw Graydon training, too. And I told you.
You told me, like, episode 1.
I said, he's a wizard. He's got magic. He loves magic.
I think you wrote this show. That would explain a lot.
No, if I wrote this show, the dialogue would be different.
Well, yeah.
But no, this is the episode that needed to come, I think, a few episodes earlier.
Like
if you would have cut out the Wildwood episode, for sure, and maybe condensed some of the other stuff, this should have happened sooner, because this is where our characters have finally, I feel like, gotten on track.
Yeah, it took too long. Which isn't to say you can't have character progression, right? You want your characters to start maybe a little bratty or a little this, a little... that's part of the journey. You want to see them grow.
Absolutely.
But I think the problem was they all just kind of felt like the same character early on. Just that whole kind of teenage, I know everything, I'm better, and I'm great. And not that all teenagers are like that. I'm not trying to anger you if you're a teenager watching this. But, hey, I've been a teenager. You have. We all been there once, and we thought, hey, I understand this world pretty damn well right now. And then you get out into the world, and you're like, well, maybe I didn't.
No, but this was the episode I've been waiting for where they kind of, like I said, they shaped these characters up.
And it should have happened a while ago.
I do like that the Dag just got blown up by Graydon out of nowhere. I thought that was great.
You did enjoy that. You clapped a little bit at that.
I was excited. Like, yeah!
He's been your favorite character, hasn't he?
I don't know why. I think his progression and his acting has just been a little bit better for me.
He's been a little bit more believable, I guess.
He hasn't been really used the teenage speak either.
Yeah, he's been a little less drama, I guess. I don't know what it is.
He's got a straightforward story. He's, he had a bad lot in life, bad lot growing up.
He was a prince, but yeah.
Yeah, but he was possessed, and apparently whatever they had to do to fix that left those horrible scars all over him. He's kind of felt like he's been beaten down by his parents,
Yeah.
And then now we're finally seeing him come into his own. But we've been seeing him slowly creeping out of his shell, and now he's out there. This is him. He feels empathy for creatures. He
that was
had to
cool,
let the cute little creature friend go. He's the one who realized that the Dag was there in the first place, hiding at the inn. I'm going to call it that.
The inn at the edge of the world, or whatever we want to call it.
Inn at the end of the shattered sea.
Or the beginning of it, I guess. But yeah.
No, but it was very creative that they have had him going on a journey that I've enjoyed. I'm glad Kit finally woke up and realized I need to train if I'm going to be good.
Which is
Don't
good,
just let
right?
me win. I need to actually train. And then she finally reconciled with Allura, and they took the dive together.
Yeah.
This was a moment that they needed, but they just needed it to happen sooner, so I didn't have to watch so much of
It
the
needed to be like 10 episode season. That's the problem sometimes with these shows. They don't write it as much as they write for what they need, right?
They say this is how long we want it to be. So what should we do in this episode?
Can you make this like 8 or 10 episodes? And you're like, well, I got like a good 5 episode
so they go,
arc here.
Here's the beginning, and here's where they're going to end. Here's some major plot points. Now, what do we do in the middle?
Yeah, let's just make up some drama. We'll have some weird episodes that really are filler entirely, and we'll just add extra drama on top of all of that, and there we go. You got Willow.
Oh.
Speaking of Willow himself, he confuses me.
He...
I'm the worst wizard ever, but I can like do
I
like
can do
all
all this
kinds
magic.
of cool
Look at me
things.
do all this cool magic. Waha,
Yeah.
magic. Woohoo, magic. I'm so good at magic.
Magic.
But I'm a really bad wizard.
I suck at magic, but I'm the best magic user you'll ever see.
I'm better than
Wait,
you
what?
guys right now.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like they wanted. It's like they didn't know what to do with Willow drama-wise, other than his family, which I think is what they should have just focused on.
The scene
Instead
with
of
him
this whole,
seeing
like-
that image of his daughter possibly now being...
Yeah, like that's the good stuff with him, but everything like, oh, I suck. Like, why? Why did you have to go this route with him? Just have it be where he was so committed to his magic, he lost his family. He's so good at magic, he practiced it so hard because he wanted to stop the end of the world that he lost his family. That I would have been much better with than I suck at magic and I lost my family. But I'm actually really good at magic. I don't get it.
I don't know. He's been very confusing.
Yes. And it is called Willow, right? I mean, that is the whole...
Well, yeah, they didn't want to call it Elora Danon.
Well,
It's too much of a mouthful.
I mean,
there.
she was kind of the,
Her hair's finally all one color. Hooray!
Yeah.
Using magic has fixed her hair.
Magic little hair coloring, yes.
Yes, or
Need to-
decoloring in this case.
Yeah, need to get that going in the real world.
Jeez. No, but I was happy that we finally got the training. We had reconciliation between some of our major characters. I feel sad for Borman that he doesn't feel worthy of this Curious that he's obsessed with, that we don't even know the significance of really yet. Because when they were telling the story, Kit was bored and interrupted him.
Yeah. It's kind of been this weird, like, subplot, which I know is going to come into play
we know
at
it's
the
important.
finale. Yeah, but it's just felt like this other thing going on.
If Mad Mardigan gave his life looking for it, it has to be important.
Yeah.
It has to be.
What'd you think about everything going on
But
in
who's
the...
worthy of it? Who's going to put it on and they're going to be worthy of it? Or will Borman become worthy of it?
Of course he will. Come on.
You want to ask me a question?
Oh, about the city.
The Immemorial City?
There it is.
I
yeah,
know you don't like to say it.
I can't. That's
The
one of those
immemorial
words. Yeah,
city.
it just doesn't want to flow right.
I have liked the aesthetic of the city the whole time.
Sure.
But I knew the moment we saw the girl, I'm like, oh, that's like the crone, right?
Yes.
I was so happy how long
said-
he resisted temptation.
I said, please be anything but the crone or related to her. Be an actual person trapped there for whatever reason. It would have been much more original than...
Well,
Of
we did
course I'm
hear
here to
about the
tempt you.
original 6, the bloodline. I thought maybe this is another one of the 6. Maybe they need to get all of the 6.
Well, you've
of
really
this
been listening
fairy
to the
bloodline.
lore. Like, sometimes you're like, yeah, remember when we heard this in episode? I'm like, no, I think I checked out at that point for a
Because
while.
we know that Bavmorda's line is one of the 6.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe they need to get all of the 6. Maybe the crone is one of the 6. And these two are now one of the 6. I'm like, they got like half of them. And maybe Elora, they need part of, I don't know.
You
like,
really
maybe they
should have
need
wrote
people.
this thing.
Maybe. I also have this theory that maybe the Gales were each a member of the 6 because there's 4 Gales. And then there's Bavmorda and the crone. That could be a full 6.
Full house.
Yeah, but now the Dag's dead.
Well, is she?
We don't exactly know what happened to Doomed. He looks like maybe he just fell off and got left behind. And
Yeah.
I don't know. So he's still out there being doomy.
But no, this was the first time the show actually felt kind of adventurous to me.
It
We were
was.
going somewhere.
This episode was much better. So I'm
Much
sorry
better,
if you
yes.
came here to hear me
Well,
rail
you-
on this one. It was better, so I can't do that.
Well, yeah, we're not here to either say... I mean, we're looking at it at the individual episode, right? If you want to look at the show as a whole right now, has it been very good? No. But this was definitely a better episode.
It gave me a thought that they can save this with the end of the series.
I don't know if they can...
I'm not calling it the end of the season because
the
now
problem-
I don't think it's going to be the end.
The problem is you can't just have like 3 or 4 episodes in the middle that are just completely like, what are you doing right now? And
I
then
need
like,
a
oh, but the
fan-
ending was really good.
What if somebody makes me a fan cut?
Well, it would just be like removing episodes.
No, you'd have to leave in
nobody-
certain lore pieces, but
No one's going to make... I mean, nobody should. That's not a recommendation for anybody to go...
I don't
No,
want anyone to
no,
have to use all
no,
their time to
don't do
make
that.
a cut of Willow that I could
Yes.
enjoy much more. But this episode was an improvement, and I will not. Again, it's because I wanted to love this show so much.
You do have this...
This was an improvement, and I'm sticking with that.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to look at it like, okay, this was a better episode, but on the whole, the show has been pretty bad. It's just been kind of poorly written, right? Like I said, I think the biggest problem is they wanted to do something with Willow. They have this property, like Lucasfilm has like 4 properties, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, let's do this. A lot of people really enjoy this. It's going to be a fun, magical adventure. And then they took it and like, well, what do we actually do with this?
Well, I like that this episode also gave us confirmation that Eric did not know that, as he called her, Dove or Brunhilde, was Elora Danon. Because I had a theory that Sorcerer kind of was like, hey, and kind of like pushed him into a situation where he would kind of fall for the kitchen girl, or that he knew that she was important, or she told him because maybe she wanted her son to marry the future Empress, Queen Lady.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that was proven false, because that would have been a bit shallow.
Well, he's obviously
he resisted
very
as long
shallow.
as he could, I guess. And then he, and I like that he actually showed that he did care for Dove. He did.
Yeah, does.
Maybe not anymore.
I know he looks all different at the end here.
The crone person gave him his wishes. Remember, he said he wanted to be like brave and courageous and heroic, and she gave him all those things, but what's the cost? The cost is she probably now controls him. He serves her now. He serves
like
the crone.
Trolls, you
He's
get your...
part of the Order of the Worm and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now I wonder if the...
Super excited to see where it all goes.
Well, I'm wondering if there's a story connection, too, to the old man from the inn at the edge of the Shattered Sea.
Yeah.
And the crone. She took on the appearance of what she called a princess of Kashmir, and that she was kidnapped.
You
right?
really are paying attention.
Well, no, she took on the appearance. She looked like, most likely, she's this lost princess of Kashmir.
Okay.
And the guy in the inn was telling a story about how he tried to save a princess of Kashmir at one time. That was one of his quests that he went on, is saving the princess who was kidnapped by the Order of the Worm.
Oh, yeah.
Her story was like, oh yeah, the Order of the Worm, they were doing some horrible things, bad things in the town, and then she eventually got kidnapped. So is this person, either A, she is the crone, or she is another servant like Bavmorda was.
Servant.
Who was controlled and taken by the crone.
Servant.
Servant?
I guess.
I'm sticking with servant then? Okay. It's Bavmorda 2.0.
Better than the first. Because this one won't be fooled by a disappearing trick that Willow did at the end.
Maybe. She doesn't know about the story of the disappearing trick. The disappearing pig trick.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little hard to do that with Laura now. She's much bigger.
Well...
I'm interested about the magic and the wands thing. Wizards apparently are very emboldened with their wands. So now is Graydon's flute going to perpetually be like a magical item that other people would want to get a hold of so they too can channel
Nobody's
magic
gonna
through
want
it?
his flute.
But it's multi-purpose.
Can play a song or do magic.
Well, think of it. And Willow's staff is huge.
It's big for him, right?
For an Elwyn?
Yeah.
It's actually probably the perfect size for a walking stick for an Elwyn. Think about if a Dakini was using it. It would be really cumbersome.
Yeah, you would be kind of...
It's not big enough to be a walking stick, and it's not small enough to be a wand.
It is what it is, right?
But it's just so funny, because that wand looks like it could snap at any second. The Shalindria's wand.
Yeah, it always looks...
I'm like, so where do you store that? Do you have a little pocket that's all crookedy? Graydon has the perfect weapon.
You're a wizard, Graydon.
His weapon's 5 inches long? It's stout. So that he can put it in his pocket and carry it. I think that's the best wand in the whole series so far.
Okay. Well, now we have our key code word for anybody who makes it this far.
No,
stout wand.
No,
stout wand.
Is that what everyone's gonna be putting in?
That is words of the day.
No, everyone can.
Phrase
Okay. They can put stout wand and then describe what item
hold on.
Their magic would be channeled through, because it has to be a personal item like Graydon's, because Graydon's wand was his.
I thought you
because it's a personal item he has hard attachments to. So
nobody describe your stout wand in the comments.
No, you would stout wand, and then what item?
What
you
would
hold
be
such
your magical?
significance
Okay, what would be your magical item? Yes.
Yeah,
that's
what would
the
be
fun
your
question
magical
of the week.
item? But you have to start it out by saying stout
Mine
wand.
would be my replica of Luke's lightsaber.
Your Luke lightsaber magic wand. I
Yes,
love it.
which actually is also a lightsaber. Perfect.
I don't know what mine would be. Hopefully not one of the cats.
Well, you have one of that Sailor Moon.
My moon wand.
Your moon wand, yes.
Yes, my Sailor Moon wand.
Yeah, a proplica, I think they call those,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is.
Because it's a very fancy replica of a
It's a
cartoon
Darth Vader
item.
action figure. Ha-ha!
With removable helmet. See the scar damage or the burn damage or whatever. I don't know. We've lost
Every time I use the wand, the burn damage gets worse.
We're done.
Until I melt my action figure.
That's it.
I'm sorry, everybody.
No, you're not. All right, well, that is all we've got for you this time. So take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this episode of Willow or our review of it if you're not watching it. Or tell us your stout wand story.
Stout wand magical item story.
Yes. Whatever the case may be, leave your comments below. Let's talk some Willow. And until next time, thanks for watching.